I'm aiming to 100% every game in my Steam library. I play a wide variety of games, and earning every achievement makes me feel like I've gotten the most out of the game and the most bang for my buck. Today, I'm grabbing all the achievements for RoboCop Rogue City is a first-person shooter action crime detective game that released in 2023. We play as deceased cop Alex Murphy, whose brain has been implanted in this mech suit to be used as a literal crime-fighting machine. Throughout the game, we will be doing our duties as a police officer while dealing with political struggles, rampant crime, public perception, and the inner turmoil of our human half conflicting with the mechanical. With 27 achievements up for grabs, let's get into the grind. The game opens up with a news broadcast stating there's a new crime wave happening in the city of Detroit. A statement is given by the Old Man, CEO of Omni Consumer Products, or OCP. The broadcast is quickly interrupted by one of the many criminals we'll encounter, Soot. This punk rock discount joker and one hell of a father's disappointment is the leader of a gang known as the Torchheads. They're responsible for a wide variety of crime in the city, with the main focus being the distribution of the psychoactive drug known as Nuke. A cop is wheeled in and pumped full of a large dose of Nuke to make a statement, and the news crew is being held hostage. There's a crime kingpin who currently remains unknown, and this stunt by Soot was to gain the attention of this mysterious criminal to offer services of the Torchheads in exchange for payment. The broadcast is cut short, and that's where we come in. We arrive on the scene and are introduced to our partner, Ann Lewis. We make our way into the news station in the attempt to defuse the hostage situation. Battling our way through the building, we end up on this floor that is full of offices. This is where I grabbed the first achieve by picking up this computer monitor and hucking it at an enemy, earning the Strikeout achievement. While progressing through the building, we start to glitch, hearing echoes of the past of Alex Murphy's life. Our visuals start to malfunction and we start seeing things. This is something that will happen throughout the game and something that we have to deal with in the vein of public perception. We breach into the room where the hostages are being held and handle some business, leaving us with one last enemy holding this woman at gunpoint. Still glitching, we freeze and don't act fast enough in the situation, but absolute baddie Lewis shows up just in time to save the hostage. With the building secured and the first mission done, we pop the Night Has Just Begun achievement. After most missions, we will end up back at the precinct where we undergo routine psych evaluations and maintenance. There's side quests we can do around the precinct and people to talk to throughout. I'm absolute dog piss at first-person shooters, so I decided to hit up the shooting range in the precinct. I was having trouble with the sensitivity and the shooting in general as it felt clunky and slow to me. I figured maybe that was the point considering I'm a robot, but it was something that took a long time to adjust to during my whole playthrough. However, there's an opportunity to gain 3 achieves in the shooting range, so I decided to get those out of the way. You earn points in the shooting gallery for destroying targets, with each round getting faster. If the targets reach the end of the track, you have a fraction of a second to destroy them or your run is over. The 3 achievements are for various increasing scores of 150, 200, and 250 points, and after spending what felt like 20 minutes here, I earned the dead on. This guy is really good, and Super Cop achievements for hitting the required scores. Once that's all wrapped up, we're briefed on the new assignment and head out for the city. This is the first open world section of the game where we can run around Detroit. We have our objective, but we're able to do some side activities by wandering around. While scanning for signs of crime, we come up to this parked vehicle that's leaking oil all over the street. By issuing a ticket, we obtain the Uphold the Law achievement. Some side missions require a decent amount of investigation, finding clues, reviewing footage, and taking statements from witnesses and involved parties. We run into 2 officers at the scene of a homicide and help with the investigation. We scan the scene for clues and set off to find the culprit. We stumble upon a commercial shoot where some of the things happening line up with some of the clues we discovered at the scene. By interviewing folks at the shoot, we find that the star of the commercial has a body double that is missing, so we set off to find him. He's holed up in a gas station covered in a substance and driving a vehicle that matched clues found at the scene. But upon talking to him, he informs us that he didn't kill the victim, he just moved their body. The real killer is the star of the commercial. After discovering rock-solid proof of the star committing the crime, we arrest both the body double and the celebrity and get the hard-boiled achievement. While doing another side mission I encountered in the city, we run into this kid who has gotten in with some bad people. We found him hiding out in a building when some thugs break in looking for him. Forced to shoot our way out, we snag the Zip This Up achievement by shooting an enemy in the nuts. Continuing on with this side mission, we enter a chop shop and all the employees are just mad at us for like no reason. After dispatching them all, we have a look around and stumble across the first of many OCP training discs, popping the I'd buy that for $1 achievement. Getting back on track with the main story, we head into the arcade in the pursuit of Soot. We need to question the sleazy arcade owner who has been peddling Nuke for Soot to gain info on his whereabouts. After receiving his statement and putting him in cuffs, we search his office and come across a button on his desk. Pressing it opens a gate, earning us the No Stone Unturned achievement for finding a secret area in the arcade. Gathering more info on the location of Soot, we find that his base of operations is at the old slaughterhouse. We head there with baddie Lewis at our side and head in. This is where Soot is producing Nuke and where he's holding a concert. Because when he's not doing crime, he's making his parents infinitely less proud by being the lead singer of an absolutely mid-punk rock band. Chasing him through the slaughterhouse, decreasing his ragtag army, we finally corner him. He won't give up any information, so we throw his ass and break all of his stuff until he's stressed enough to talk. We're interrupted by the mysterious new criminal who has Lewis hostage outside. We scoop up Soot and carry him outside to exchange him for Lewis. When arriving outside, we're introduced to the new guy, Wendell Antonowski. He doesn't care for Soot's lack of criminal professionalism and game ends him on the spot. With me experiencing another glitch episode and Lewis handcuffed, Wendell talks a gang of shit before shooting Lewis. We pass out and wake up back at the precinct and are given the Dead or Alive achievement. Cutie Pants Dr. Blanche sits us down for our psych evaluation, and when finished, we're graded on our performance for the mission. Upon getting an A rank for the first mission, we're given the Officer of the Month achievement. Once we get up, Morgan, the engineer, calls us over to pick up our first chip for our service weapon, the Auto 9. We place one of the chips into the weapon and get the pop for the All Adds Up achievement for doing so. We mill around the precinct for a while and learn that Lewis is in the hospital undergoing surgery. There's a get well soon card we take around getting people to sign. There's also a new hire at the station, Washington. He's basically been assigned to be our babysitter. We learn more about Briggs, a missing officer, and we also need to track down Antonowski, so we head out to leave the precinct. Washington tries to stop us as he's supposed to, but we're RoboCop and that ain't gonna happen, so he decides to help us over the radio. After leaving the precinct, we arrive at the old steel mill. This is home to a new biker gang that Washington informs us about. While looking around the mill for Officer Briggs, investigating his stolen police cruiser and following a blood trail, we run into the Fast Movers. These are street vultures that ride around on their motorcycles, blasting at you while weaving around each other. This is the perfect opportunity for the Live by the Bike achievement for shooting the gas tank of a moving motorcycle, causing it to blow up. We make the shot and one of the bikers rides around for a moment with his bike on fire. Hearing the explosion in the distance rewards us with the achievement pop. Continuing to make my way through the mill, I entered a building and ran into my first of several game crashes. I'm going to talk about how I feel about the game overall at the end, but this is a problem I ran into on multiple occasions. Moving on, it was here at the mill that I earned enough skill points to be able to put the last point I needed into the deduction skill, earning the Practice Makes Perfect achievement. Eventually, we make it to where Officer Briggs is located, finding him deceased in a freezer with several other bodies also placed in freezers in the same room. After finding him, Washington calls for backup and we make our way to the squad. Once regrouping with backup, we set off with ED-209, this giant riot control mech. We absolutely tear ass through the rest of the mill, eliminating numerous enemies in some sort of competition, which I lost. Reaching a checkpoint, I realized I missed an opportunity to grab one of the missable chiefs, so I reloaded a save and set off after it. In the mill is this train, and we're able to move it if our engineering skill is high enough, or if we find and scan this train manual located in one of the nearby buildings. We get it to move and it crashes through a couple of gates, gaining us access to an area where we can climb a ladder and find a hidden room. In this room, we pick up a PCB for the Auto 9, earning us the Good Eyes Murphy achievement. Now that that's done, I run through the mill with ED-209 again and confront the leader of the street vultures, Spike. We cuff his ass for the murder of Officer Briggs and for just being a mean jerk, when suddenly ED-209 breaks into the warehouse. It's malfunctioning and registers my fellow officer as a threat, obliterating him in the process. We're now in a boss battle against this thing and I did not fare well. It took me several minutes of pure panic and confusion to take this thing down. During this, Spike got away. But after defeating ED-209, I get the pop for the 20 seconds to comply achievement. After that's over with, we stop at the hospital to see Lewis, then we roam around the precinct for a while. While in the briefing room, we are going over details on how to track down Spike, as he is our only connection and lead towards finding Antonowski. An officer bursts in, informing us of a news broadcast of a bank heist in progress. We set off for the bank to take control of the situation there. We make our way through the bank and end up at the vault. The owner is strapped with a bomb that we defuse with Washington's help. Once he's safe, we leave through a hole made by the vultures in the attempt to catch up with Spike. We reach a warehouse where we find plans for the heist and a load of contraband. A message is coming through on the walkie-talkie, so we answer it to find that it's Spike. He informs us that he is no longer dealing with Antonowski because he failed to pay the vultures, and this was their attempt at getting what they were owed. When the call is done, we get the "Don't Mess with the Money" achievement pop. We end up back in the city for another open world section and do a few random side missions. One of these leads us to the location of Spike. He's being held and tortured by a group of torchheads. Antonowski is working with them, and they don't like the fact that Spike went rogue after being shafted. We question Spike and narrow down the location of Antonowski before arresting Spike for good. Antonowski is located at an abandoned mall. We find him and interrupt his meeting in the parking garage. Most of the mission is just some long, drawn-out pursuit of Antonowski where we make our way through the mall that is filled with creepy mannequins for some reason, while we glitch repeatedly and hear and see more echoes from the past. After making it through the mall, we end up on the roof, confronting Antonowski and making the arrest. When that's done, we watch the news report of the event and then receive the Book Him achievement pop. We do the normal precinct stuff and learn that the CEO of OCP has suffered a heart attack, so we head to the hospital to pay him a visit, as well as see Lewis. I haven't spoke about Max Becker at all this far, but he's a higher up in the precinct and he's an absolute scumbag piece of garbage asshole. He only views us as a robot and he is horrible to everyone on the force. He runs the OCP Security Concepts Division and is responsible for all the robotics. He's aiming to fire all the police and replace them with a full force of robotic officers. He tells us to meet him at some warehouse, so we make our way there. Upon entering the warehouse, he talks some shit to us and then releases his gang of droids that he says will be our quote-unquote replacements. They immediately open fire on us, and now we have to fight for our lives against this army of armored robots. During this intense firefight, I grabbed one of these explosive gas canisters off the floor and launched it at a group of the droids. When it blew up, I got the Nuke 'em achievement for eliminating 3 enemies with 1 explosive. Once the fight is done, I noticed that I didn't get another missable achieve, so again, I reloaded a save and did the fight all over again. Once finishing the fight for the second time, I earned the There Can Only Be One achievement for destroying all the UED droids in under 10 minutes. Our next mission takes us to the prison where we go question Antonowski about who is in cahoots with him inside OCP. He only gives us a tidbit of info so we don't leave empty-handed and tells us about something called Project Afterlife. A full-blown prison riot starts popping off, and now we have to deal with crazed prisoners as well as an army of special forces mercenaries that have come to bust Antonowski out. We slowly fight our way through his hired army and make our way through the prison. Once making it to the end, Antonowski is waiting for a helicopter to take him out of there. We start glitching again, and he does his stinky villain monologue before escaping in the chopper, leaving us there on the ground. After making his escape, we receive the Let's Talk achievement. When we make it back to the precinct, Dr. Blanche isn't there to conduct our psych eval. She's left a message with Morgan for us to give her a call. When calling her, she explains that all the research she's been doing on us has been stolen from the precinct. Lucky for us though, she's old school and doesn't keep all the data on the computer. She has a lot of it written on paper. So we head out to go meet up with her at the Star Motel. We enter the motel and head for Blanche's room. When meeting her there, she's distressed and asks if we want to conduct our last psych eval while we're here. We do that, and then there's a knock on the door. More of the mercenaries have tracked the doctor down and have come to collect the data and dispose of her. With the hotel now full of them and the building on fire, we must escape. This is where we can get another missable achievement. Somewhere in the burning building is a door we can open, saving a cat from being trapped in the inferno. Once finding the door and letting the cat out, we get the A Real Hero achievement pop. When we're out of the blaze and Dr. Blanche is safely taken away in a squad car, we have to go locate her computer to retrieve the rest of the files. We trace the signal to a nearby manhole and enter the sewers. Down here we encounter our first enemy turret system. Provided your engineering skill is high enough, you're able to trace the cords from the turret to their control console and hack it, turning it against your foes. Doing this gets us the May Be Used Against You achievement pop. Once we've finished up our objective, we exit the sewers and make our way back to the cruiser, leaving the city. We arrive at OCP headquarters and go inside to speak with the old man. Entering his office, we're greeted by Becker. He turns on the TV and we find out that the old man has passed away and Becker is now acting CEO of OCP. He runs through his plans to follow through with the firing of the police force for robot replacements. Becker tells us about the Arms Expo he's leading and wants us there for the showcase of his new and improved droids he's created. We make our way out of OCP headquarters, and doing so gets us the Cashing Out achievement. We're now at the Arms Expo and are told to stand on the podium on stage for the unveiling. He claims that RoboCop is a thing of the past and introduces RoboCop 2 and his new and improved UEDs and opens the floor for questioning. A reporter asks me some questions, ignoring Becker. During the questioning, the UED on stage malfunctions and a horde of them spill into the room. The crowd disperses and we're left to fend off the droids. We clear them out and end up fighting another ED-209 in the process. We need to find an EMP generator to shut down all the droids, but when we find it, it's been destroyed by Antonowski. Pursuing him leads us to be overwhelmed and captured by his army. He strings us up and shows off his lighter. His lighter is the reason we've been glitching during the whole game. Anytime we've gotten too close, he activates his lighter, signaling a chip in our head to make us malfunction. He gives us the lighter to remember him by for some reason and makes his exit. We black out and wake up at the precinct. The group helps with the removal of the chip that's been causing us problems the whole game, and we band together to head out to save the mayor and take down Antonowski once and for all. We arrive back in the city and it's on fire. Members of every gang and faction are running all over the place, causing havoc and fighting each other as well as fighting us. Making our way through the city, saving citizens and stopping crimes along the way, we trace a signal leading to a laboratory set up to make progress in the Afterlife project. Securing a door code from the lab gains us access to a breached wall leading to the under construction section of Delta City, aka New Detroit. This is where Antonowski is located. Pushing past his army and more droids, we ascend a half-built skyscraper and meet up with Antonowski. When finding him, he's arguing with some of his mercenaries and they quit because he's poor and the checks haven't been clearing for his troops. He threatens us with his army of droids that don't require money and we blow his fucking hand off. He makes a run for it and we give chase, leading to a dead end for him. He tried to pull a fast one and pull a blicky on us, resulting in us unloading a whole clip into his dumbass, knocking him back and off the ledge. After this, the not arresting you anymore achievement pops. That just leaves us with one more achieve. Thinking we'd regroup at the precinct, talk a bit, and get a final cutscene before the achievement popped was a terrible assumption. We're not quite done yet. After checking in with everybody, we see a news broadcast showing that OCP headquarters is under attack by some sort of monster, so we head back out to see what's going on. Arriving on the scene, we see the building is in shambles. Heading inside, we see carnage and wreckage everywhere. We're informed that an old friend waits for us upstairs, and upon arriving on the executive floor, we see it. RoboCop 2, with the spirit of the old man inside it, I guess. But there is a bright side. He's choking the absolute shit out of Becker, so that's cool. He kills Becker and sets his sights on us. This is the final boss fight, and holy shit was it intense. I threw everything I had at this thing. Occasionally throughout the fight, we drop to lower levels through the crumbling floors. Eventually, we end up on the ground floor with Lewis informing us that the building is crumbling down around us. We deal the final blow to the old man and he gets trapped under some rubble. Now we have a choice and I obviously chose to kill him. After doing so, the building collapses and we walk out of the rubble. It's all over. We get a long cutscene showing us what everyone we've had a relationship with during the game has been up to in the weeks since everything took place. Once those are all wrapped up, the Nice Shooting Son achievement pops for beating the game. And that's it. All RoboCop achievements in the bag. This game was mid. I'm torn on how to feel about it. I enjoyed the story, even with getting lost a few times, and I enjoyed several parts about the game. The choices having an impact was neat, the side quests were mostly fun. I enjoyed running around doing some of the detective stuff. I really enjoyed the leveling system, which had a multitude of skills to choose from. I liked how certain things in the game could only be done if you leveled up a certain skill to a certain point. All cool things. However, in my opinion, there's many things wrong with this title. The performance was ass in sections. Even after adjusting settings to be lower, the game ran like dog shit off and on consistently throughout. I had a total of 7 crashes during the whole playthrough, which was really annoying. The voice acting was abysmal at times, and the audio mixing was god-awful. If I didn't turn on the subtitles, I think I would have missed half of the dialogue in the whole game. The sensitivity was a huge learning curve in my opinion. It felt so clunky and slow. I tried to view it as me being a robot man, so I'm not going to move with the fluidity of a human, but that reasoning only got me so far. There was also a litany of small bugs, which weren't a big deal until you add them all to a pile, and over time they just become things you can't look past anymore. But whatever. It's done. We got the 100%. There's so much more to the game I make videos on than I'm showing because I just want to focus on the achievements and give basic story beats that give context to what I'm doing. I don't want to lay out the whole game for you in case people want to check these out for themselves. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. These take a while to make and your support means the world. I stream on Twitch, so go check me out over there if you'd like. Link in the description. Thank you and take care. Smooches.
Hey, Robo! Do the robot dance!
Watch and learn, young man.